With the next big update for Space Engineers right around the corner, this might be the perfect time to either dive in for the first time or return to this ever-evolving sandbox game. And while we don't know all the details yet, there is plenty of information to get excited about. From new endgame blocks to potential gameplay changes, this update could shake things up for many players. In this video, we'll break down what we know so far about update 1.205. We're looking at teasers for new Prototech technology, a mysterious faction called the Factorum, and even a potential new gameplay scenario, though much of that is still speculation. So let's dive in and see what's coming to Space Engineers. So what exactly do we know about the upcoming Space Engineers update? Well, according to the developers, this update is going to be big, with new resources, new endgame blocks, and a deeper dive into PvE encounters. They also mentioned that exploration will become a bigger focus. While most of the conversation following that post were mainly speculation at that point, it definitely got the community talking. Since then, we have way more information to go on. So let's talk about Prototech blocks and the new faction tied to them, the Factorum. The Prototech blocks seem to be the main highlight of this update. From what we've seen, they are unique endgame blocks indicated with a gold-like marking that players won't be able to reverse engineer. That means you'll have to find and extract those blocks intact, or use a Prototech assembler to create components with the aim of repairing or completing them. However, one critical piece, the Prototech frame, can only be found during encounters, adding an element of exploration and risk to getting your hands on these powerful items. As for the Factorum, they are a mysterious, dangerous faction, hinted at in teasers as being, mildly put, unfriendly. Their technology appears to be advanced, and based on what we've learned, they don't follow the rules of conventional morality. Their appearance in the game signals the start of more varied PvE encounters, although we'll still have to wait and see exactly how they will fit into the Space Engineers universe. What is clear is that the Factorum and their Prototech technology will likely bring new challenges for players who want to get their hands on these powerful blocks. Among the various aspects being speculated on this update, one interesting image teased during one of the regular Space Engineers livestreams has sparked discussion about an underground location with glowing objects. Naturally, the community started speculating. Does this mean caves? Could these be new resources, or perhaps even alien flora? Now, caves are currently not a natural thing in Space Engineers, although there is a mod out there that can make those. So it would be great to see this actually being added to the game. But as this image is not only showing caves, but also structures like a bridge, it seems this is a manually created setup. After checking out Zero Legion's recent video, it turns out the glowing objects in the teaser resemble an already existing glowing texture in the game, found on the alien planet. So while this image does not indicate the introduction of something entirely new in terms of resources, structures, or environment, there is still something interesting here. The fact that this familiar texture has been used in such a prominent way, and given the update's focus on Factorum and Prototech technology, I believe this could be tied to a story-based scenario or event, perhaps even taking place on the alien planet. While we will need to wait for a more official confirmation, it definitely leans towards something more structured rather than just a visual update or new resource. Alright, let's talk about the new blocks and features confirmed for the upcoming update. So far, we know that several Prototech blocks will be introduced, including the Prototech assembler, refiner, ion thruster, and even a jump drive, which will be available for both small and large grids. The introduction of a jump drive for small grids is especially exciting, as this is the first time such a feature has been added to the game, allowing smaller ships to travel long distance instantly. This could drastically change how players use scout ships or tactical fighters, giving more mobility to small grid vessels. Now, just as upgrading from a basic refinery or assembler to the larger versions means more components and more efficiency, so will probably the Prototech versions be. It was made clear that the Prototech assembler will be able to construct Prototech components. I assume this means that the Prototech refinery will be able to refine at least one new resource to use for the new components. Judging by the model character next to the large ion thruster, shows how massive it will be, probably taking quite some space in your large starships. But again, they also likely will be more efficient in the use of power versus thrust. More blocks were teased during the Factorum hacker announcement. While unsure what their function will be, the golden accents, like seen on the other Prototech, make clear they are part of these new blocks. Some of these could be decorative, although we never had 3x3 decorative blocks before. So I assume these will be functional block. This could be a hydrogen tank, this could be a jump drive, and below here almost looks like a double tank, maybe a large O2 H2 generator, a combination between O2 and H2, or most likely a Prototech large container. In the same video, the Prototech assembler and components are shown as well. In addition to Prototech, we also seen hints of new blocks like the NSET connector, which was shown during the Space Engineers livestream in August. This will be both a game changer and space saver for my future build. A simple block that actually really gets me excited. In the video that explained Prototech, we saw a new large grid low gate, a few new truss pillar variations, and lights. The video showing the new jump drive, an amazing looking jump animation, a new container which seems to be small grid, plus a new turret were teased. Although we don't have full details on many of these blocks yet, they will likely offer more variety for builders, explorers, and combat pilots alike. It's clear that this update will bring fresh tools for players to experiment with, and I'm eager to see how these blocks will fit into both survival gameplay and other creative builds. One last video was teased during the Space Engineers September livestream. At first I assumed they were trying to make us focus on the lighting effects that were happening, but there doesn't seem to be any difference to what we currently already have in the game. The action outside of the building and the dramatic scenery make me believe... wait a minute, I just noticed something. This panel here is exactly the same as the one they were using in the Prototech explained video to mark the Factorum installation. You can see it in this shot, you can see it in that shot and other ones as well. So that pretty much confirms it for me. This teaser was indeed a part of a new scenario that is going to link to the Factorum narrative. As for when we can expect the update to drop, there's still some uncertainty in the community. Many players are speculating about the release date, mainly because server wipes are expected to happen alongside the release. This has raised some concerns, especially for players who want to prepare for that reset. Now, long-term players in the community have pointed out that Keen Software House usually gives about 2 weeks notice before a major server wipe, which is the first sign we're going to be getting closer to the update. Now, based on this pattern, we might see the update drop between early and mid-October, but as always, until we get an official confirmation, it is still up in the air. Regardless, the anticipation is building, and we'll all be keeping a close eye on any announcements to come. To wrap this video up, one of the best parts about this upcoming update is that the Prototech blocks, at least some of them, will be part of the free content. That means you won't need to purchase a DLC to get your hands on these new features. I think this update is the perfect opportunity to jump back into the game, explore what you might have missed, and the new things to come. Thank you so much for watching. And if you're excited as I am for this update, be sure to keep an eye on this channel for more news, guides, and gameplay tips. This was Beeblebum. Goodbye for now.